Have you ever seen Brazil stumble in a World Cup qualifier and thought, wait, how is this even possible? Well, that's exactly what just happened. For the very first time under Carlo Ancelotti's leadership, Brazil suffered a shocking defeat. A 1-0 loss against Bolivia. Not just any team, but side that came into this match fighting for their last chance at qualification. And with that defeat, Brazil suddenly finds themselves sitting in 5th place on the points table. Now, let's be honest. For Brazil, this game wasn't supposed to be complicated. It was meant to be routine, a match to test new players, try out fresh tactics, and build confidence ahead of the 2026 World Cup. But instead, the match exposed cracks, weaknesses, and questions that Ancelotti and his staff cannot ignore any longer. The biggest takeaway? Ancelotti's experiments with his backup squad have failed completely. Yes, he rotated players. Yes, he gave chances to the bench. But the results? Zero. What he has learned is simple. He cannot fully trust his backup options for the biggest stage in world football. So, in this video, we are going to break it all down. Who should Brazil trust as part of their main 2026 squad? Which positions look solid? And which ones are still weak? And most importantly, what big decisions must Ancelotti take right now if Brazil wants to truly challenge for the Hexa, their long-awaited 6th World Cup trophy? Let's begin at the back. Alisson Becker, no doubt about it, is a world-class goalkeeper. He has saved Brazil countless times, and his reflexes, positioning, and leadership are top class. But there's one area where the alarm bells just don't stop ringing. Penalties. Time and time again, Alisson has looked vulnerable from the spot. And this isn't just a one-time issue, it's a trend. So, imagine a knockout game in 2026. If Brazil concedes a penalty and Alisson is between the posts, can the fans really be confident? Probably not. And yet, despite this flaw, Ancelotti has no choice but to stick with him. Why? Because as of now, Brazil simply doesn't have another goalkeeper at his level. The backup options are decent, but nowhere near his standard. Which means, like it or not, Alisson remains Brazil's number one. Now let's move to right back, a position that raised serious questions in the Bolivia game. Vitinho was given a chance in the starting lineup, but his performance was so poor that Ancelotti had to replace him mid-match, shifting Marquinhos to that role. That alone shows just how weak Brazil's bench really is. The good news? When Van der Sar and Wesley are available, Brazil looks far more secure in this position. Both of them have the talent, stamina, and defensive discipline to cover the right flank. If they make it to the 2026 squad, Brazil will feel safer here. But beyond those two, the depth is shallow. The third choice right back? Still uncertain, and that uncertainty could be costly. Now, here's a relief for Brazilian fans. The center-back department looks strong. Against Bolivia, Ribeiro and Fabrizio Bruno did a respectable job. In previous matches, Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães were simply outstanding. Add to that the presence of Eder Militao, Bremer, and a few other quality names, and suddenly Brazil has 5 to 6 top-level central defenders. For the first time in a while, this is one area where Ancelotti won't lose sleep. But things aren't as comfortable on the left. Against Bolivia, Caio Henrique struggled badly, losing multiple one-on-one duels to Bolivia's right winger. On the other hand, Douglas Santos has shown solid performances when given a chance, but for some reason, he was benched in this crucial game. And that's the problem. Brazil still doesn't have a clear, reliable first-choice left-back. Unlike the right side, where Van der Sar and Wesley are almost certain picks, the left side feels uncertain. Who will be Brazil's go-to option in 2026? Nobody knows yet. Midfield is always the heartbeat of Brazil. Against Bolivia, Bruno Guimaraes was the standout. Yes, he conceded a penalty, but aside from that, he was Brazil's most creative and hard-working midfielder. His touches, passing range, and vision made him the only real spark in an otherwise flat midfield. Lucas Paqueta and Andre Santos? Disappointing. They couldn't control the tempo, couldn't link up well, and offered very little going forward. Which is why, moving forward, the partnership of Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes will likely become non-negotiable. Casemiro's defensive strength, combined with Bruno's creativity, can restore balance in midfield. Ancelotti must stop experimenting here and build consistency. Now, the biggest decision of them all. Neymar Jr., should he be part of Brazil's 2026 plans or not? Without him, Brazil has tried Rafinha in the attacking midfield role. Sometimes he delivers, sometimes he doesn't. But the truth is simple. There's no one in this squad who can truly replicate Neymar's vision, flair, and match-winning ability. If Ancelotti wants Neymar in his World Cup squad, he must bring him back now. Not later, not last minute now. Chemistry takes time, and Neymar needs to be reintegrated into the system immediately if he's to play a role in 2026. On the right wing, Brazil has no shortage of names. Estevao Willian, Rafinha, Luis Enrique. But quantity doesn't always mean quality. Against Bolivia, Luis Enrique was especially disappointing, constantly losing the ball. Estevao showed promise late in the game, creating chances, but also missed a crucial opportunity when he failed to pass to Joao Pedro in the box. Those are costly mistakes at international level. On the left wing, Samuel Lino was given a rare start. And honestly, he didn't convince. As a substitute or a left midfielder, he might still be useful. But as a starting left winger, not strong enough. Brazil already knows Vinicius Junior and Gabriel Martinelli will lead this role in 2026. But the third option, Lino or Rodrigo, remains undecided. Again, another tough call for Ancelotti. If there's one area that continues to haunt Brazil, it's the number 9 role. Richarlison had his chances against Bolivia. He failed. Joao Pedro came on as a substitute. He failed too. But here's the irony. At club level, both are performing brilliantly. Joao Pedro is on fire at Chelsea. Richarlison has scored goals in the Premier League, even assisting against Manchester City. So why can't they replicate this form for Brazil? That's the question Ancelotti must urgently answer. Brazil cannot head into 2026 with uncertainty in this position. Whether it's Richarlison, Joao Pedro, or someone else, the number 9 problem must be solved, and soon. Put all of this together, and the reality is clear. Brazil's first team and bench team are worlds apart. We saw the same issue back in the 2022 World Cup when Coach Tite rotated heavily against Cameroon and Brazil lost 1-0. History is repeating itself. Ancelotti must be careful. Experiments are important, but the World Cup is no place for weak experiments. If Brazil truly wants to chase the Hexa in 2026, the time for decisions is now. Ancelotti must identify his core 11, lock them in, and build chemistry around them. Uncertainty around Neymar, question marks at left back, doubts in midfield, and the ongoing center forward problem. These are issues that cannot wait until 2026. So here's where we stand. Brazil still has time. Friendly matches are coming up against both Asian and European opponents. These will be the perfect test to see whether Ancelotti sticks with experiments or finally decides on his main lineup. And remember, squad depth is important, but a strong, stable starting 11 is even more critical. Will Ancelotti make the tough choices? Will Neymar return? Will Brazil fix its number 9 curse? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the world will be watching. What do you think? Should Neymar be part of Brazil's 2026 squad? Who should lead the line as center forward? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and until next time, take care and keep the football passion alive.